very welcome to this video in our series on saving and borrowing for junior cycle business based on Learning Outcome 1.5. And in this video, we're going to look at what borrowing is, the reasons for why people borrow, and the factors to consider when you're thinking about going out and borrowing money. So first thing I want you to do is think about, what does borrowing mean? Pause the video now when we're ready, press play to continue. So, what is borrowing? Well, borrowing is receiving money from a person or financial institution with the promise of paying back. Okay, so basically, when you get money off someone that isn't yours to do something with it, but you're going to give it back to them after. So it's not a freebie, you're taking it off them for a short period of time to give it back to them in the meantime. From a person, so it could be from a friend or a family member, or a financial institution. Do you remember what financial institutions were? We looked at them in a previous video, so go back in the series if you want to have a look at those there now. So, and of course, with the promise of paying it back with interest. So that's the idea that you're going to pay back the amount you borrowed plus a bit extra as a, it's sort of like a thank you. It's remember we looked at what interest was. Interest is the cost of borrowing and the reward for saving. Okay. So, why do people borrow money, do you think? I want you to pause the video now and list as many examples as you can in the next 30 seconds. And then when you're ready, press play to continue. So, some people might borrow to buy something big. For example, they might be getting themselves a nice new car. Or they might want to improve their house. They might want to get a new kitchen, or they might want to extend the house, maybe build out the back garden a bit or something. Maybe it's go to college or university to get a degree or a master's or something like that. Maybe it's go for a holiday. Maybe it's an unforeseen circumstance, an emergency, for example. Maybe you want to buy a new home. Okay, so these are some of the reasons. There's many, many more reasons. There's some of the reasons why someone might choose to borrow money. Now, what I want you to do is I want to pause the video now and think about what factors you should consider when you're going to go and borrow money. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to continue. So, some of the factors to consider is, do you really need the item? Is this something you actually have to have, or can you live without it? Okay. Do you need it urgently? Okay. If not, maybe you should save for it instead. If you don't need it right now, maybe you're better off saving because that'd be working out cheaper in the long run for you. What's the cost? Okay. In other words, how much are you going to have to borrow? How much will the interest repayments be? Okay. Is it too expensive? Can you afford to borrow the money? Which brings us into the can you afford it section. Do you have enough income? So do you earn enough money to make the repayments on the loan? Is your job secure enough that you'll be able to pay back throughout the full term of the loan? So if you only have a 1-year job contract, there's no really point going for a job and you don't think it's going to last much longer than that. You can't really take out a loan for 5 years on that now, really, to be honest with you, what your credit history is like, okay? So what we mean by credit, do you have good enough credit history to be awarded the loan? So what we mean by credit history is basically, do you have a good history of paying back loans when they fall due? So once you get out of a loan, you develop what's called a credit history. And as long as you pay back your loans on time, that means you'll have a good credit history. However, if you're late with your payments or you don't pay back the loan, you're going to have a bad credit history. So when you go to look out to get a new loan in the future for something else, then the bank or the financial institution is less likely to lend you money. So say, for example, you get out a student loan to pay for your college fees and you decide to be late paying that back. Well, when then you go to look for a car loan in the future or a mortgage to buy a new house in the future, and the financial institution sees you didn't pay back your student loan on time, they're not going to want to give you a mortgage or a car loan, or they'll give it to you but at a higher rate of interest, so it's going to cost you more money in the long run. So, at the end of the day, this brings us to the end of this lesson where we learned what borrowing was, the reasons for borrowing, and the factors to consider when borrowing money. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, ask below in the comments. Why not give the video now a thumbs up and a like down below as well, and if you enjoyed it, why not subscribe to the channel as well by clicking that big button in the middle of the screen. Thanks very much for watching, see you in the next video, bye now.